you ripped my heart out. Alright, let's get working on this turd. First order of business. So we're going to get all these rockers out of here and we're going to pull the injectors. In order to pull the injectors, we got to take all our lines off and we got to pull the injector tubes, the feed tubes out of the head. Because being that this is a common rail, the rail feeds each individual line, goes down these bosses in the head and feeds the fuel injector. So before we do that, we have to disconnect everything. We got to undo these rocker shafts. We have 1, 2 for the other side of the engine. So we're going to start undoing those. I'm not pinning this engine because I don't need to. Why do I not need to? Well, because I'm taking everything out. So what's the point of pinning it? We're going to have to pin it after we get the new crank in it, or this crank if we get to fix it and that. So for now, we're going to work on, I want to see what the fuel injectors look like, so I'm going to do that. Then we're going to start stripping everything off the side of this engine. Take the wire harness off, the intake manifold, and just a lot of little things we got to take off, and we're going to organize it. I'm not sure if we're going to touch the pump here. Probably going to have to take it off when I take the front timing cover off, but once we start taking all that apart, we're going to clean this guy off a little bit so we get all that dirt off of it. And yeah, well, let's get to work. So when you undo these rocker shafts, you got to do them little by little because there's probably tension on a valve like back here. And I'm going to start coming up slowly. See, right there. And now we're free. Don't worry about the valve bridges. We'll get those later. So our exhaust valves have these raised dimples on them. Our intake valves do not. So you want to remember that. So you want to remember how the shaft went on here. Don't screw anything up. Surprisingly, our cam looks really, really good. I'm actually happy with that. Who wouldn't be? So now we're disconnecting all the injectors. And we're going to take this harness out of here. I am not sure if this bolts in here. I think it does. Probably with the little Torx. So we're going to pull this little clip out, and then we can pull our harness through and pull our injector harness out. Now, show you guys this camshaft. It's actually looking pretty good. This is from me making it. This is the only wear I see on this lobe. But you can't even catch it with the fingernail. I think I could polish that out. It's actually coming off. It must be some crap. I mean, there are some wear marks on it, don't get me wrong, but it looks really good. So I'm pretty sure we're okay reusing it. Now, I don't know if the camera will pick this up, but there's some, like over here, there's metal in here, obviously. So we're gonna have a lot of cleaning to do on this block for sure. luck. Got that guy out. So yeah, you take this clip out, and then all you do is you just push. We're gonna lay our harness out of the way because there ain't nothing wrong with it. So now we got all this crap to take apart. I'm gonna take this top piece off of here, I think. Or no, we can't. That holds the rail in place. So we're gonna take that off later. We're gonna do all these lines first. The 7/8 wrench, which I just so happen to have here. We're gonna undo all these lines. Some of them are a pain to get to, but luckily we have the engine out, so that's in our favor. But we're gonna go from front to back because I think that'll be the easiest. And you might get some fuel coming out of them. Are they really tight? Well, some can be, but they're not too bad. Now we're gonna set them respectively in their correct spots per cylinder. That's number 5. Let's keep going.
Wow, you're making quick work.
Get you a wrench, and you're over here, there's not enough torque, oh my goodness. Now you got the torque. So
Ta-da!
But it only works if you can use the box, the closed end on it.
Stuff supposed to be falling out of there?
Oh, this is like a little shelf for debris.
Oh, I thought it was coming out of the thing itself. Heavy, heavy.
Ah, holy look at all the CGR in there. It's terrible.
It's like the caves.
So far, as you guys saw, I pulled the rockers from the top, the jigs, which on this engine are very simple. On the Cat, you got a whole nother set on top. We removed the injector harness and the Jake harness. Showed that with the clip. We removed the intake. Next thing what we're going to do is we're going to remove the fuel injectors. I've already removed the pump head, and I see no issues with the pump head other than one check valve is a little stubborn and hard, which we're going to rebuild that pump head. But the pump didn't fail and didn't destroy this engine. However, we are getting fuel in the oil. There's fuel obviously in the oil. So right now, what you got left to do is just you got to do these retaining nuts for the feed tubes that go through the cylinder head, and then just the injector hold-on bolts. We can start popping them out one by one. And I have a feeling that number 3, it's got a problem.
Which would be a weird coincidence because of the finger-tight bolts on also on number 3.
Yeah.
But strange things happen.
I have a feeling an O-ring failed or just the injector failed. It's weird, but let's find out. I'm curious. Let's start taking these off.
So are you using parts to pull parts?
Yes. So this is your feed tube. And you can only go in one way. There's a little notch. Some of them are stubborn because there's an O-ring in there, and there's really no way to grab them. So get you an old injector line. Screw it on there. Comes right out. So every hole but number 3 is like purely black on the top. It's got carbon from fuel, from combustion. Number 3, I can see like this. I can see where it's not completely dark, so maybe that injector is leaking. You want pats from a dirty man? I can't pat you because you're gonna smell like diesel. It's dog. It's a diesel dog. With lots of anxiety. So we looked at all the injectors. The copper tips look great. The tips look great. The O-rings all look good. There's no cuts on them or anything. They're not flat spotted. I don't see anything out of the ordinary. So I don't know if I can get these tested. Maybe Cummins can test them. I don't know. But I was hoping I'd see something obvious when I pulled them out, but I don't see anything obvious. Clearly, there has to be an issue with fuel somewhere because I can smell it. But we still got a long ways to go before we even worry about that part. So I think the next thing I'm going to do is start taking some more stuff off that engine. I got to take the harmonic balancer. I got to take not the harmonic balancer, the dampener off, and take the front motor mount off. Then we can take the front gear train off. I don't believe this engine has a scissor gear because it's an efficiency series, and the efficiency usually didn't have a scissor gear, so we won't have to worry about unloading that. We'll try to slide the cam out, and then we'll work our way. Noisy dog. We'll work our way on the right side of the engine to start removing some of the other stuff off. And if we get to it, hell, maybe we'll undo the head bolts and maybe we can yank the head off. Would be nice. Camshaft. Looky, looky. That's dirt that gets between the timing cover and the block, the cylinder head actually. So over here, there's a roll ring here that sits here, as you see the outline, so dirt doesn't get on in there, other than right now. But anyway, this all is gonna get cleaned up. So cam's out. So that gear, when they get it on that cam, it's a press fit. The cam gear is anyway. So when they Loctite it on, it can be a pain in the ass to remove it. You don't want to go prying on it with the pry bar. And here she is. You don't want to go pry it on it with the pry bar. And the reason why it's laying down there for the time being is because it's hot. So I heated it slowly, gently, like around here. And it just started walking off the camshaft. The heat was just driving it off. I don't know if that's the right way of doing it, but that worked for me, so I don't care. If you don't want to do it that way, don't. So in order to get our thermostat housing off first, we got to get our exhaust manifold off. I don't know if you can see that. Right there. Got a bolt that holds it. That's all right. We're going to work on all this garbage here. Remove all this. I'm going to take the harness off first, unclip all these wires and move it back to the back, and then we're going to work our way on the exhaust manifold, which should be it should come out, I'm hoping. So just going to do it here, and then 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 bolts, and she'll come right off, and then we can get our thermostat housing off, and then our EGR cooler we're probably going to remove too. I don't know if there'll be enough time, but we're working away at it. We'll see. Maybe we can get this head off today yet before we go bowling. So I am not seeing anything out of the obvious other than that rusty shit in there. Excuse my language. I don't know if that's like from casting or if that's coolant. Do we have a cracked head? I mean, can you see that in there? Can you guys see that? That looks like coolant, wouldn't you say? I'd say so. Holy crap. I guess we'll find out when we get this head off. All right, so next up is that thermostat housing, that water passage for our heater hoses for the truck, and that's it on this side. I think we'll tear this guy off. Might as well, right? Yeah, we might as well do that. Yeah, I'll talk about it actually.
Martin's not too happy right now.
This is the threads out of my timing cover because Cummins employees are also the brightest people in the world, and they decide to ugga-dugga the living shit out of this into an aluminum timing cover and strip it. This is for the fuel pump too.
It's free.
Yay!
Oh, yeah, look at that.
So where's the gasket that always leaks? China, right here. It says so right on it. And they don't even put anything on here. You just slam the gasket on, and then they wonder why it leaks. I gotta get the clutch off the back. We gotta get the head off. But I wanted to accomplish this today.
It is Truck Driver Appreciation Week. We are appreciating our truckers this week. In that envelope are some gift cards for McDonald's, Dairy Queen, Dunkin' Donuts, Subway, Taco Bell. Yeah, so just a little something for them that they can enjoy while they're out on the road. And a nice card as well that says, "We appreciate you." So something that I've always done for drivers back when we were with FedEx. We always try to do something for everybody. So it's kind of nice that we can carry that on over to our own company on this Truck Driver Appreciation Week.
You guys are honored. Yes, Alice will be appreciating me too tonight.
If your guys' companies appreciated you, why don't you let me know in the comments what they did? I'm curious. I'd like to know. 2 years ago, Siva gave us some real nice duffel bags that we still use to this day. Some water bottles, snacks, things like that. So that was pretty neat. Actually, I think that was the first time we ever had anything where we were appreciated as truck drivers. Wasn't it, Martin? I'm pretty sure.
We never were.
Yeah, we never were. We always did the appreciating. That's why what?
That's why I fell in love with Siva.
So we're getting ready to go bowling as a family tonight. Our friends are going to come out. Right now, Martin's putting a little bit of grease on my truck, so the team, when they come, they can be ready to hit the road. And good day on the engine today.
We got a lot done.
So yeah, lots done.
Maybe tomorrow we can get that crankshaft out.
I hope we can. That'd be cool.
I hope so.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, we'll see you on the next one.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. I've been on the flex since flex on.